It's painted rock time! We're so overdue for a beginner-friendly rock painting tutorial, and this one is a classic, because today I'm going to show you how to create these mandala painted rocks. Hi, it's me, Brittany Bly, the founder of Pop Shop America, where you can find a wonderland of joyous crafts, recipes, tutorials, and so much fun along the way. So let's get started. The supplies to make these mandala painted rocks are simple. I used large black rocks, but you could use gray or white as well. You need an array of wooden skewers, sponge tip brushes, or anything that has a flat or tipped end that you can make a perfectly circular dot with. For your paint, heavy body acrylics aren't necessary. Lightweight acrylics are best, like apple barrel or folk art acrylic paint. Just make sure you have a wide range of colors because mixing is not necessary. You may want sandpaper if you want your paint to be perfectly flat, but if you use sandpaper after the paint is dry to smooth the finish, just know that you cannot scratch the surface of the rock. You have to be extremely careful with your sanding. You may want to pencil some semicircles so that you can follow your lines and your pattern. Always start in the center and work your way outward. Start by dipping just the tip of your sponge or your skewer in the paint. When you press it into the rock, always use a rigid up and down motion to produce a perfect circle of paint. And be gentle. Just barely dip the tip of your brush or your skewer onto the rock. Don't press hard. When you press hard, sometimes you smudge the surface. Your circles are going to become more like ovals or potatoes. If your dots aren't even circles, try adding a touch of water to your acrylic paint. Again, heavy body paint is not necessary for this project. We want to use a paint that's light and moves easily. I started with an earthy yellow tone. Try your best to evenly space every single dot. Alternate the size of your dots for rows that are next to each other. So my first dot was huge, but the second row of dots were much smaller. Between rows, you may want to wait and let your paint dry to prevent smudging it. Acrylic paint dries fast, but you may want to give it up to an hour. You can start multiple rocks and then alternate through them if you want to work faster. As I make a new row, I also like to position the dots so you are not making straight lines up and down, but creating staggered dots or diagonal lines. When you start a new row, next to your previous row, see how the dots are different sized, but I'm still able to make those dots diagonal lines? This takes a little bit of planning, but if you make a mistake along the way, you can wash your paint off of the rock with soap and water while the paint is still wet and start fresh. One of my favorite things to do with this project is really have fun with the color palette. This is a great opportunity to experiment with color. With my pink row of dots, I spaced them super wide so that I could add teeny tiny lavender dots in a semicircle around them. Another thing I love about making mandala painted rocks is that you don't need too much paint. This can also be a fun activity with just a small amount of paint when you're using your leftovers. As you start to get the edges of your rocks, do continue your patterns along the sides since you will likely see your rocks at many angles. Once I had the rock filled in with an array of colors and the paint was completely dry, I went over the rock with some tiny micro dots. Sometimes making all these tiny dots becomes a bit of a brain teaser. Just take your time. Know that imperfections won't be noticeable when the rock is finished. What's helpful is to keep all of your dots as circular as possible with no drips or mistakes in where the paint actually falls on the rock. But just know that if the rocks aren't perfectly evenly spaced across every single dot, no one is going to notice. Near the end of painting my mandala rocks, I kept looking for small spaces where I could add more dots and help the rock feel more finished and more full. With this project, more is more, so keep adding, perfecting your dots along the way. You might have noticed that I redid some of my dots as well. I made smaller dots inside of the larger dots. I covered some of my dots with a different color or changed them as I went. It's okay to change your mind as you go. I definitely did. So now that you've made these mandala painted rocks, what are you going to do with them? You could use them as paperweights or decorations for your bookshelf. You could add these to your garden or border a plant with them. This could be a fun way to relax while you're watching movies, or you could make these with kids to teach them a lot about controlling paint and paintbrushes. If you want to show us how you use your mandala painted rocks, tag us in social or drop a comment below. And if you want more crafty goodness from Pop Shop America, click that follow button, and happy crafting!